Integrated Development Environments. Commonly used IDEs are CodeBlocks, Visual Studio Code, Dev C++, Eclipse, Palace C, CLion, Xcode on macOS, and many others. Install CodeBlocks on Windows. To install CodeBlocks, go to the website codeblocks.org, Downloads, download the binary release, and then if you scroll down, you've got the option to download just the CodeBlocks on its own or with MinGW. So I've already set up MinGW, so I'm going to download the setup file. Go down to the downloads folder and double click the installer. Agree. Click yes to run CodeBlocks. CodeBlocks is going to automatically configure the compiler settings. So if you go to settings, compiler, and under tool chain executables, you're going to find all these compiler settings for C and C++, linkers, etc. To set up Visual Studio Code, go to code.visualstudio.com and download for Windows. Run the installer. Accept the agreement. Accept. Launch Visual Studio Code. Go to extensions. Choose a theme. Install C, C++. You also want to search for Code Runner and install Code Runner. Then go to settings, search for Code Runner, run in terminal, and tick the checkbox to run in terminal. To download Palace C, a complete IDE for Windows, go to smorgasbord.com and download the installer. Run the downloaded setup file. Once finished, close it and run VSC. Build the database. Close. And this is the VSC IDE for C development. To set up the C programming environment on Ubuntu, open up the terminal window and install Build Essential. First, update and upgrade. Sudo apt installed Build Essential. Install the man pages. Check the GCC version. Go ahead and install CodeBlocks. Install the plugins for CodeBlocks IDE. Contrib. To launch CodeBlocks from terminal, type CodeBlocks ampersand. Then go to Settings, Compiler, and Toolchain Executables to see that all the settings are correct. You can also install Visual Studio Code by going to the Ubuntu apps, search Visual Studio Code, and install. After installation, go to Applications and launch Visual Studio Code. Select a theme, go to Extensions, install C/C++, install the Code Runner extension, to Settings, search for Code Runner, run in terminal, click the checkbox, and that's how you install Visual Studio Code on Ubuntu.